your situation. So could you share with us what was in your life that made you look for some gurus?
When I was in class 9, all of a sudden a desire came to my mind to become a monk. I should become a monk. Maybe it was some past life impression, experience. And I started reading religious book and I started purifying my life. We Nepali people, we are all meat eaters. And so I first thing I did, I dropped eating meat. I became vegetarian. Then I stopped even taking tea because I read in the book where the tea is also intoxication. It has caffeine and nicotine. So I dropped the tea. And then I started cooking my own food because I read in the book that the best food is when you cook yourself, the purest. A yogi should eat only his own cooked food. So I started cooking my own food in my school hostel. Then I read more yogi books, Ramakrishna, Raman Maharshi, Arvindo, Yogananda, Shivananda. Every book I could get in, about religion. Uh, there was a huge library in my school. I applied to become a librarian in this school. One student used to be a librarian. So I became librarian and I shifted my bed in the library with a special permission. And whole night I used to read those books of Raman, Ramakrishna and all religious books. But I was confused. I was inspired, but I was not getting direct guidance. So I was trying through reading books to purify my life. You know, in that adolescence age, there is an urge for sex. And that was also my problem. Why this urge is coming to me? I wanted to win over this urge. And then I read that if you purify your food, you can conquer your sex. So I started purifying my food. I stopped eating the salt. Then I went into a stream. For a few years, I didn't eat anything which was cooked. I just was on raw food, just fruits for 3-4 years. I didn't take salt, sugar, or any cooked food. So that was extreme. And on those days, I was attracted. I went to many ashram to get initiated, Ramakrishna ashram. That time in India, there was a movement called Anand Marg, very popular. Now it's no more that popular, but that time it was very popular. Anand Murthy ji was alive. So I went and meet him. I was initiated by him. Then I went to Ramakrishna mission. They told me that they don't initiate a student. I will have to wait 12 years in the ashram, then only they will. So I was visiting. Then you can come and visit and you can meditate. So I was visiting Ramakrishna ashram. Then I went to another guru, Ankul Chandra Thakur, Satsang. So Guru after, I met Maharshi Mahesh Yogi. I was initiated by him also. So I was drifting from Guru to Guru. But they all helped me. I have learned from them. I have obligation. I have respect for them. But nobody could satisfy my total quest. So I was not hooked anywhere. So I was looking for a master. Then I went to engineering college and I met Bhagwan.
So Swamiji, besides the physical aspects that you mentioned, almost like an ethereal presence, godlike presence, in his words, what were the main, let's say, top 3 key takeaways that you can say that these were, I mean, you've been associated with Osho since 1969 and it's 2010 now. So decades and decades of Osho's work. Could you share with us what in your understanding are Osho's top 3 messages?
Main three messages.
Yeah.
That time or now?
You can share more, but
yeah.
just if someone is new to Osho's work, how would you explain what is Osho's main message to people?
The one thing Osho says that we all have a soul center, but we are unconscious about it. We don't know. Once you realize your soul, you will not need anything else in your life, because the realization of self is so fulfilling. It will enrich your life that your worldly desire will disappear. Until we don't realize the self, our worldly desire is not going to finish, and we will be drifting from here to there, and nothing will satisfy us. So without realization of the self, there is no peace in life, and there is no rest in life, and everything will go against whatever you try.
Swamiji, it's a very good thing you shared, but one of the problems, at least I have faced, is how do you know that this is you? Because in different stages of life, different things attract you. You might be a teenager and something else would be so appealing to you that you might think this is all there is to me. Or you become let's say a young man, and all you may want is a good job or is a big car. So how would you really discern that this is indeed what is your true self? How do you understand that? Because things change.
Basically, you need actually only one thing, that's anand or sukha or bliss. No. So in the childhood, maybe you get pleasure or anand through playing with toys.
Right.
No? You get pleasure. When you become young, maybe sex becomes the prime attraction, and you get maximum pleasure in sex. When you get little older, the money and prestige and power attracts you. But everywhere you are seeking two things. One thing is pleasure, and another thing is freedom. The two is the prime motives. No? You want to be free from everything. You don't want to be controlled by anything. And at the same time, you want bliss. You want pleasure. So these all worldly pleasures give you little bit of freedom. Like suppose you have a desire of sex. If you have sex, you become free from the desire of sex for some time after having sex. So actually the pleasure does not come from sex, it comes from freedom. Because you are free from desire, strong desire. Suppose you need money and you get money and you are satisfied for one week. So that satisfaction comes because you have dropped a desire, you have become free from desire. Not desire fulfilled, that doesn't give you pleasure, but dropping of desire gives you pleasure. No? Because the desire drops. If you get money for 1 week or for some time, you are happy, you don't need any more money. Again the desire will come for more money or more things. But wherever there is happiness, what I realize that happiness comes when our desires are dropped. It cannot be fulfilled, desire cannot be fulfilled. But sometimes it drops for short time and we get short pleasures. The prime motivation in life is pleasure, sukha. And you won't get sukha or pleasure unless you realize yourself. Everywhere you go, ultimately you will be frustrated. Money, how much money you can have? And money cannot make you contented, cannot make you happy. Anything in the life cannot give you permanent pleasure. That same thing will frustrate you. Food, suppose you are fond of good food, but how much you can eat? After little more, and that the same food gives you pain. So, the same pleasure becomes pain in this world. So nothing can give us permanent bliss. The permanent happiness comes only when you realize yourself. And all motivation in life is leading to us that direction. No? We want pleasure, we want freedom, we want bliss. And we search at the wrong place. We search in material things which can give a glimpse of it, but it cannot give you a permanent state.
Like we should say, meditation is the only freedom.
Meditation and realization who you are. Meditation is a process, is a method. But the ultimate contentment will come in your life once you realize who you are, where is your center,